So, it all started in 1948, I believe. Um, so, Mahatma Gandhi is known for freeing India, right? Well, to be honest, it really wasn't him. He did help, I guess, but it really didn't do much. There were three Punjabis that did it. One was Bhagat Singh, who is the most famous of them all, and two other Shahidis. A Shahidi is someone that dies for a cause, essentially a martyr. Someone that sacrifices something in order for the greater good. That's a Shahidi. So, Bhagat Singh and two other Shahidis, they sacrificed their lives so that all of India would be free from British rule. After that, okay, wait, actually, hold. Let me backtrack a bit. Punjab is a state in India. It's a state that I'm from. Punjab's really cool. I like Punjab a lot. Like, all of India, they were under British rule for nearly 200 years. But they captured, like, literally all of India except for Punjab. And Punjab was fighting back forever. Like, it's insane. You are completely surrounded. It's like California, literally the state of California, versus the rest of the U.S. and versus British. How? How do you do that? So, Punjab was under British rule for around 80-something years. Yeah, around 87 years. And the rest of India was under British rule for nearly 200. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the first Sikh emperor, he said, "As long as I live, the British will never take Punjab." And he was right. Maharaja Ranjit Singh died, and then that's when the British started to attack more vigorously. But they were still being beaten back. To be honest, the only reason why Punjab lost the war is because one of the 12 Punjabi kings under the Punjab kingdom, the British promised him Kashmir, which is a part of Punjab. He said that if you betrayed them, we will let you rule Kashmir. So they did betray them. It was three brothers. The oldest brother, he was, of course, was the king of wherever he was the king before, and his two younger brothers. They betrayed Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the rest of the Punjab. They poisoned Maharaja Ranjit Singh's oldest son, because after Maharaja Ranjit Singh died, his son became the next Maharaja. Maharaja means emperor in Punjabi. So they poisoned him. He died 10 days after his coronation. And then the second son, he was walking through his castle, and one of the entrances suddenly just gave out while he was walking through it. It was like a big stone hallway, and it just gave out, and like all the rocks just like collapsed on him, and of course he died. And then the last one was Maharaja Dulip Singh. He was just a small child. He was the boy prince, the boy emperor. He was like 8 years old or something crazy young, and he was the emperor of the entire kingdom. And then, so of course, you have like a 12-year-old that's an emperor. There are 12 other Punjabi lords, but of course, one of the kingdoms, they're all traitors. They of course didn't know that. So the Punjab kingdom crumbled apart due to poor leadership. Maharaja Ranjit Singh alone didn't cause all of Punjab to be so strong, but he certainly had a huge impact. He was a great leader. So, anyways, after he died, British took all of India, and then in 1947 there was the Pakistan-India partition. Pakistan was a part of India before, but then it broke off and they seceded from India, became their own country. Pakistan is essentially supposed to be a land for Muslims, and India, to be honest, I don't know why people call it India. In Punjabi, we call it Bharat, and in Hindu, they call it Hindustan, the land for Hindus. I'm pretty sure, like, the Westerners, like the British or something, started calling it India, and then everyone started calling it India. I'm pretty sure something similar might have happened to Germany. Kind of just didn't really care to look it up, because, you know, if Germans call Germany Deutschland, so why the fuck does everyone else call it Germany? But whatever, I really don't care enough to look up what's up with Germany. But so when Pakistan seceded from India, how they split it up was pretty shitty for Punjab. Punjab was a state, right? It was cut in half. Half of Punjab is in Pakistan, and the other half of Punjab is in India. So they're like, when the India-Pakistan war happened, Punjab was fucked. Like, it was the most fucked up part in the war, because it's literally just one state divided. So that's where like most of the battles happen, because I mean it's literally like on the border. It's like as if it is kind of hard to explain. It's like we're living in California today, but then Mexico takes half of California, and then the U.S. and Mexico go to war. So most of the battles are going to be in California. But that happened, and that's not even like the worst parts, to be honest. That's not even why we were protesting. I'm just giving you a little bit of a background. So after the secession, or after Pakistan seceded, there was a war, and the British, you know, the three Shahidis, they sacrificed their lives and to get the British out of there. That's also a long story on what they did and stuff, so I'm not going to get into that right now. They sacrificed their lives so the British would leave. Sorry. But then Punjabis, we started facing prejudice from the Indian government. We were essentially just being treated like slaves. Because it wasn't just like arbitrarily, hey, let's kill everyone in the state. What happened was, in Punjab, we're not Hindus, we're all Sikhs. And the Indian government, they wanted everyone to be Hindus. They want everyone to speak Hindi. We speak Punjabi. So they were literally just trying to like force our culture out of our homeland. In our schools, they ordered everyone to start teaching Hindi, not Punjabi, to start teaching about Hinduism, not Sikhism. So when kids went home, they were speaking Punjabi to their parents. And Punjabi and Hindi, it is pretty different, but there are some similarities. It's kind of like English and Spanish. You can understand some words, but if you can't understand like a whole conversation, if you only know English, and the other person only knows Spanish. So, I mean, the parents, they were not feeling comfortable with that. They did everything right. They went through the course, they complained to the school system, like, hey, this is not right. We're Punjabi, we want to speak Punjabi here. We're Sikhs, we're entitled to our own religion. Of course, the education system, they said, basically fuck off. So, they went through the course, they tried to do everything right, nothing was happening, and then Punjab, because people were not backing down, they were, like, some teachers, they would just, like, not listen to them, and just, like, teach Punjabi and Sikhism, but, went to the courts, did everything right, courts basically said fuck off, and then, oh yeah, like, a whole bunch of injustices started happening. Like, they just kept going through the courts. They were being really persistent. Persons just kept saying no, 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 no. And then there were a bunch of injustices happening. Like, people were being beaten in the streets by the police. Like, Rodney King, that was an everyday thing. And you know how in Mexico, if you get pulled over by a cop, if you just give him some money, he'll just leave you alone? Well, in Punjab, how it would work is, if you're Punjabi, and if you get pulled over by a cop, he'll pull you out of the car, beat the shit out of you, like, beat the shit out of you, and then you have the option of bribing him, and then he'll leave. So you literally get the shit beaten out of you and robbed by the police just during a traffic stop. Like if he just pulls you over, like that will happen. So essentially, like, what happened to Rodney King? That shit happened every day. There was, and there was like no equality at all. Like there was a Hindu man. There was a Sikh man who was found with a gun, literally just a rifle. He just had one. They don't know where it came from. He just had one. What the Indian police did to him? They put chili peppers in his eyes. They shoved chili peppers up his ass. They put dog shit in his mouth. They cut off his arms and his legs. Then they staked him and shoved him against the wall, and then they let him bleed out to death. Of course, this was after, they rigorously beat him. A Hindu man stole a rifle from an army official in Punjab. A police officer came. He had him in handcuffs. He took him to the car. By the time he got to the police station, he was never behind bars. They just got a call and then he was freed. A Hindu man smoking a cigarette, and then he threw it at the Golden Temple, like on the premises of the Golden Temple. And in my religion, we absolutely do not smoke at all, no drinking, none of that at all. And that's a great offense. That's a huge sign of disrespect. Not only is that like littering, that's like essentially desecrating a holy place. So, they called the police. The man was in handcuffs. He was taken to the car. He got a call. He wasn't even in the car yet. The Hindu officer got a call. Boom. Handcuffs taken off. Man released. Like the Indian government, they were just trying to do whatever they can to just break our spirit. They literally the Indian government, super corrupt. They literally profit from drugs. So they say that they're against drugs, but they actually let it happen. They shifted the entire drug trade straight through Punjab, from Afghanistan to Punjab to New Delhi. Today, 75% of Punjabi youth are addicted to opium because of that. Our chief minister, his name is Babu. He's a traitor. He literally just did everything that the government asked him to. I'm pretty sure he wasn't even threatened by it. This man's rich as fuck, dude. Fuck that guy. I really wish I was talking to you in person so I can answer some of your questions. But fuck it. It is what it is. And, fuck, where was I? Oh, yeah. A Hindu man was found with, I believe, like 700 tons of narcotics in his house. This man also wasn't even behind bars. He was put in handcuffs. He's getting taken to the car. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is just like the other guy. Like, before he even got in the car, he just got a call. The officer just got a call, and then he was freed. So, I mean, all these injustices like that makes me so mad. This guy on my shirt, his name is Sant Janelle Singh Pinderwala. Sant is a title. It basically means saint. He spoke out against the government. Like, he would just not keep quiet about the injustices that were happening. Like, the Indian government, they sent him death threats. They did everything they could to keep him quiet, but he just wouldn't. He kept making speeches at, the Golden Temple, at other gurdwaras, which are basically our temples, like at all these holy places. He actually wasn't against anything. He was just speaking the truth. And then the Indian government, whenever like a journalist would like have an interview with them, they write everything down. Then they would get bribed by the Indian government to just completely print something else, because this was in like the 80s. Like, they didn't have like video equipment, like audio recording equipment everywhere. Like, most of the stuff in the news was all just like written down by reporters doing interviews. So if the reporters didn't get bribed, then of course they would get threatened. Their families would get threatened. And to be honest, if you are like not even a Sikh reporter, if you're a Hindu reporter, like why would you not give in to the pressure? Like it just didn't make sense. So of course, every single news article that had a recorded interview with Sant Genocide Bindrawala, they didn't even skew his words. They just straight wrote lies. They wrote things that he didn't even say at all, or like he didn't even use. Like they just fabricated everything. They like made him out to be like a huge terrorist that just wanted to like blow up the Indian government and like secede from India. Right now, Punjab, they want referendum by 2020. They want to secede from India and to be known as a country named called Khalistan, which means, a land for Khalists, my religion. But they did try it before. It was called the Anand Prasad Resolution. Of course, they went through the court rule. They said that we want to secede, and of course, the Indian government said no. But Sant Genocide Bindrawala, he was never for Khalistan. He never wanted to leave India. He just wanted to live in peace. He wanted the prejudice to stop. They were essentially being treated worse than slaves. I believe it was Bindrawala that said, your life as a slave ends once you value life as a slave less than death. So he was never for Khalistan, but he was never against either. However, his people would get peace. That's what he wanted. If India said, okay, we will stop all this prejudice and just stay with us, he would have been all for it. He would be like, okay, wonderful, sweet. If they said, get the fuck out of India, we don't want anything to do with you guys, he would be like, okay, also cool, as long as all the prejudice stops. So, India's reaction to this was, they had two choices: allow them to leave or don't allow them to leave, right? India created a third option: to try and kill every single Punjabi. They tried to commit genocide. Bindrawala, he was living in the Golden Temple. What the Indian government did, they brought in tanks into the Golden Temple. They brought in armies. They brought in their soldiers. They literally went into the Golden Temple and they shot and killed everyone in there. They ripped gold off the walls and they stole it. They looted and pillaged our holiest shrine in the holy city of Amritsar. That was the start of the genocide of 1984. And it didn't end in 1984. I mean, the backlash is still going on until this day, but it officially didn't end until, I think, 1998. There was a complete media blackout until 1998. No flights were coming in or out of Punjab. The government wanted to let it. The government stopped letting electricity go into Punjab. They stopped, they would just turn off the electricity. They would turn off the water flow. No public transportation. It would all be shut down. And what else? It was fucked. Oh yeah. And so after that happened, the prime minister at the time, her name was Indira Gandhi. She ordered Operation Blue Star, which is the attack on the Golden Temple, which killed Bindrawala. She was a fucking idiot because two of her bodyguards were Sikh bodyguards. When they were walking, she went into a room. One of them turned around, he locked the door so the other people couldn't get in. Then he just held the door. And then Indira Gandhi turned around, and then the other bodyguard, he pulled out his assault rifle, he aimed at her, and he shot her in the chest. He unloaded his full clip in her, 36 rounds. Pop, 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 pop. And then he pulled out his pistol. Boom, boom, boom. He emptied that into her too. And then after of course he put all of his bullets inside her. The other guy, he let go of the door. Everyone rushed in. They saw the Prime Minister on the ground, dead. The 2 Sikh bodyguards, they said, "We've done what we had to do. Now you do what you have to do." So of course they were arrested, beaten, and killed. Maybe being arrested and killed, I don't know. I know killed was the last, the other 2, I don't know what sequence. So, that happened, and then there was a huge backlash. The Hindus, they would go, they would start riots, because there are Sikhs living in other parts of India, they would all be heavily persecuted. Even, in Punjab, people would go into Punjab and, entire towns would just turn on Sikhs. People would just go into Sikh villages with weapons, just guns, swords, bats. They would just shoot and kill, beat, rape, fuck everyone up. The police, you'd think that the police would try to stop it. Instead, they gave the Hindus weapons, and they partook in the genocide themselves. This shit gets me really heated. I'm a little tired right now, so I don't really remember nearly everything, and I'm not as passionate as I usually would be. Just super mad, or be oh, get it, I would be screaming all this stuff. But that's why that's why I was in San Francisco. I was protesting that, trying to raise awareness, because no one knows that happened. It's literally called the secret genocide. I'm gonna end it here because I don't really remember much more, and I'll of course send you a couple other video clips and articles, but I'll let you watch this first.